Mark Nunan, massive talent, a runner for you coming up on the weekend. Good to see him finally get that win last time.
Yeah, look, his first couple of runs from me had both been good from bad gates, and then he pulled up with a little bit of blood in the trachea with his only poor run of the season, but he bounced back with a good win and a good ride from Matthew at his last start.
You mentioned some of that early promise. On his stable debut for you, he actually ran quite a nice race, didn't he? Went fourth that day.
Yeah, and he found the line well from a bad gate. We rode him just quietly, so he showed the benefit of having a good gate last start, and he got into a good position. He actually showed a really good turn of foot to come between them and put them away well.
He had the tongue tie on last time as well. How much do you think that's helped him?
Oh, no, helped for sure. I think that was part of the problem from the start before, and he trialled well in it. And, you know, since that last start win, he's had a tick over trial just to keep his fitness levels up, and he goes to Sunday in good shape.
Never easy here, of course, when horses do win and creep up the handicap. He's gone up £6, but are you confident enough that there is still a bit more to work with this guy?
Yeah, look, I'm sure there is. You know, he came to me with having only had one start, you know, previously, so, you know, he was open to improvement, and I think, you know, all the way through, he's shown enough to say that, you know, he's still got a bit more left in him.
Talking of massive talent, a horse with plenty of it clearly is Win Cheetah. You introduced him there recently. Nice win on debut. That must have been pleasing, given obviously the slight hiccup you had on his intended debut. But he's a nice horse, that guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. He's a big raw horse, and you know he came here with only one trial in Adelaide, so he didn't come here with a lot of education. And you know, the other day he did a good job. It's hard for a horse to come across heels and quicken between horses then, you know, having their first start. So he did it, and he put them away pretty quickly. We'll probably run him again on the third now.
Jamie, ALACRITY, as you're running the TVB Cup, that was a nice return to form last time.
Yeah, he ran well. He's a South American horse, and we sort of thought that the dirt would suit him. And yeah, he jumped away well and ended up on the pace, which is probably not where we thought we were going to be, but it worked out well for him. And unfortunately, all for St Paul's just with the clay and kicked off the corner, and we weren't able to run him down. But he ran a good, honest race, and he seems to be in good form.
Pedigree obviously being one thing, but had he always shown you that he might well adapt to the surface?
Yeah, well, the main surface that we trial on here is the dirt, and obviously they work on it every day. But yeah, we just thought that was a surface for him, and there's some other races on the all-weather coming up that will be targeted towards as well.
If we sort of pick the bones out of his form, I mean, there was a really good run back in October off of a pound lower course and distance. That certainly brings him into this, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's a funny horse. He just can't get his head and nose in front, but he's running well. He's just a little bit, he sort of doesn't make it easy on himself sometimes. Sometimes he wants to over-race and get a bit keen. When he sort of settles back, he can finish off his races when he's exposed. He's just a little bit soft in the finish, so he just needs the race map and everything to work out well for him. And obviously the barrier draws aren't out yet, but hopefully he can draw a nice gate and get a bit of cover and finish the race off strongly.
What's his best trip in your mind, Jamie? I mean, he's an 1800 metre winner. You're bringing him back in distance here. What's his best distance, do you think?
I don't know. Won over 1800 last season with no headgear on. And then we were sort of playing around with him a bit earlier in the season, just seeing if he wanted to be a bit shorter and a bit sharper with blinkers on. But anyway, 1400 Sunday, and then 1650, and then possibly back up to 1800 again after that. But he's probably just on his rating a little bit as well, and just finding one better or a couple better in those races. And if Global Harmony jumps on terms on Sunday, he might well find one better again. But if you're not in, you can't win.
Absolutely true. Just finally, a nice trial since his last run as well?
Yeah, just maintenance trial for him. He seems to be doing well and happy with his condition going into the race.
Zac HEDGE, one of your rides in the 1800 metre race on the weekend. He's racing well at the moment without winning. It looks as if he's ready to go close again.
Yeah, he's just sort of not really doing anything wrong, is he? He's going to the races and he's competing every time, but just seems to keep finding one better than him.
You're the only man that has ridden him, so you'll be obviously very well placed to judge. He's had those blinkers on his last three. Do you feel that they've sort of helped him in finding that little bit required?
I think they have helped him, but I think as a horse, mentally, he's going to be better in time. He still doesn't quite know how to lengthen and hit the line properly, and put them away and just get the job done. He gets there and he floats. His head carriage is quite high, so I think he's still trying to work it out a little bit, and there's going to be a little bit more there to come.
Without wanting to sort of get too far ahead of ourselves, obviously he is in the Derby. Obviously it's always a big talking point this time of year. He has run well over 2,000. Might a race like that perhaps come a bit quick if that's the way they opted to go, or how much has he still got to prove himself, do you think?
Oh, his rating suggests that he's still got a little bit to find on the other horses, but he can run the distance. He showed that last time. He's competitive, so if the owners wanted to run there, there's no reason why he can't take his place.
Lyle, Yellowfin, one of your rides coming up on the weekend. He's a horse holding his form nicely on the all-weather.
Yeah, ever consistent horse. He's really done well since winning his maiden in Hong Kong. He's continued a good vein of form, and like you said, since stepping onto the all-weather, he's been able to go up one more notch and keep performing well. So looking forward to be aboard him.
What is it, do you think, about him? Obviously, you're his rider, or you one of them that rides in Plentiful. He's improved 15 pounds this season. What is it you think that's sort of changed with him, and maybe the going forward tactics as well? He seems to be a bit more prominent now.
Yeah, I think going forward certainly helps, just because he can be quite keen mid race. So you're not susceptible to races pace changing. He sort of can make his own luck, or at least be on the sharp end of things, that he can navigate his way around that. So that certainly helped. But a lot of time horses, once they crack their maiden, they go up in confidence, and the more you adapt to Hong Kong, the more you improve. So I think a number of aspects have added up to accumulate to him having good success here.
Typically of these races, you meet a lot of the similar sort of rivals. Have you had a chance to sit on him since? How's he felt?
Yep, sat on him since. He's held his form well. No complaints. I think he's in the same vein of form as he has been recently, and that's all we can ask for. So he's ready to go again.
Lyle, you won't mind me reminding you now that you've got to the target. It took an age to get to 100, a bit like London buses now. They continue to come, and the most recent meeting at Happy Valley, you managed to boot a few more home as well. But nice to get to that figure, I'm sure.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears. Hopefully they can keep coming. But yeah, great to have got over that little hurdle and tick that box off. And hopefully that's just a small milestone in what I hope to achieve in Hong Kong.